Hello, I'm Wheelgun Dan. Thank you for being with me here today to discuss the topic of are guns designed to kill? So, the reason for this particular subject is the times that I have, maybe yourself as well, have heard politicians get in front of a TV camera and talk about the idea that they want to ban, they don't want to ban all guns, they only want to ban just the guns that are designed for killing. So, this may sound like a silly question to you or a silly statement, but it's something that needs to be discussed because there's a lot of people who may hear these somewhat silly arguments, and they are people that are going to be casting votes that are going to determine whether or not your Second Amendment rights are preserved or they are taken away. So, let's talk about the purpose of firearms. What exactly are they here for? Why do we have firearms, and what exactly, in precise detail, are they for? So, before we get into all that, let me remind you, you can always go to wheelgundan.com for all my latest activities and offerings, and let's get into it. So, a firearm. I'm going to use a few examples, teaching examples, to illustrate my point. So, let's begin with something very basic. Rubber chickens. Rubber chickens are an amazingly awesome invention. So a rubber chicken, let's say for instance, a person is doing something. Person A wants to stop person B from doing something, so they strike them in the face with a rubber chicken. Okay? Now, that person, I don't care how big or small they are, or how strong they are, anyone who gets hit in the face with a rubber chicken is going to, at least momentarily, be stopped from doing whatever it is they're doing. They will pause. They will react to being struck in the face by a rubber chicken. And after a certain amount of time, they will get back to doing whatever it was that they were doing before they got struck in the face by a rubber chicken. So let's examine for momentarily what exactly is taking place when a person's hit in the face with a rubber chicken. So a rubber chicken has size, mass, weight, and there is energy from the rubber chicken flying through the air upon making contact with the face of person B in this case. There is energy that is dissipated from the rubber chicken to the face of the person who gets hit in the face with a rubber chicken. And it's that energy that then is dissipated into the face of the target, who then has to react and deal with that. And that causes them to stop what they're doing, or at least delay it momentarily before going on to doing whatever they were doing. You with me so far? How much time are they delayed in whatever it was they were doing? Well, I don't know. It depends on the individual. Your results may vary. So, the point is that a projectile, in this case a rubber chicken, strikes somebody in the face. Energy is imparted delivered to the face of the person that causes them to stop what they're doing for a certain amount of time. That's the point there. Well, if person A wants to stop person B from doing whatever it is they're doing for a greater length of time, well, then what do they do in order to increase the amount of time that they stop person B from doing whatever it is that they're doing? Well, you would naturally then, using the laws of physics and everything, you would want to come up with an escalation of the energy imparted into the face into the target. So person A wants to stop person B from doing something. A rubber chicken isn't going to quite get them to stop doing what they're doing quick enough. So you could use, for instance, let's say a fist. If a fist is used to strike person B in the face with a fist, you have greater size and mass and weight and velocity, and that increased energy is then imparted into the face of the person getting hit in the face with a fist. That causes that increased energy causes the person to stop what they're doing for a greater amount of time. How much time? I don't know. It depends on the person getting struck in the face with a fist. And so this is the progression we're going to start to see here. Are fists designed to kill people? You can't really make that argument. Have people died being struck in the head with a fist? Yes. Have people died or being struck in the face with a rubber chicken? I don't particularly know of anybody who's ever done that, but we'll set that a question aside for right now. Have people survived being hit in the face by a rubber chicken? Yes. Have people survived being hit in the face with a fist? Yes, they have. So can it be argued that a fist or a rubber chicken is designed to kill? Not. You can't make that argument. Even though people have died being struck in the head with a fist, while others have survived, you can't make the argument that the fist is designed to kill people. Okay? But anyway, let's go on with our analogy. Let's talk now about firearms and what firearms are designed to do. Let's talk about this bowling pin. Now, let's say, for instance, this bowling pin, it has certain size, weight, mass, okay? And let's say this bowling pin is doing something that I don't want it to do, like, for instance, sitting on a table somewhere. I don't want this bowling pin to sit on a table. I want to stop it from doing what it's doing. So one of the ways I can do that is with a firearm, for instance. I can get a firearm and I can use a bullet to deliver energy unto the target. This is a target. So here we're starting to see that a firearm is actually a device that is designed to strike a target to deliver energy into that target. Now, what happens to that target? Well, we'll get into that in a little bit here. But in this case, this is what you would call an inanimate object. If I use a firearm to knock this, to try, I say try, this is easier said than done, to try and knock this bowling pin off of a table, okay, I have to select a firearm that has a bullet that is capable of striking this target with enough energy to impart enough energy into this bowling pin in order to overcome the size, the weight, the mass that this bowling pin has, as well as its crazy ergonomics, in order to knock this bowling pin off the table. So if I want to knock this bowling pin off the table, I can use a firearm, because a firearm is designed in order to strike a target and impart energy into that target in order to stop that target from doing whatever it happens to be doing. You with me? Okay? These are pesky little suckers. I tell you, they are not easy to knock off a table. So, now, if your target, if person A and person B analogy, or let's say that a firearm is to be used against a target that is man or beast, then there's a new element that's introduced here where the energy that is imparted onto that target now has the ability to cause injury and pain, which is not a subject of any relevance with this particular bowling pin, for instance. A bowling pin doesn't feel pain, it doesn't get injured, and it doesn't have the capability of potentially healing itself and going on to live a nice, long, and prosperous life. However, a living being, man or beast alike, upon having energy imparted into them by a bullet, can sustain an injury that may or may not be fatal. So is the bullet designed to kill? No. You can't make that argument, because there have been plenty of both man and beast alike who have been shot by bullets, who have survived, and plenty of man and beast in this world who have met their end upon being shot by a bullet. The bullet is designed to deliver energy into the target to stop the target from doing whatever it's doing. So you see the escalation of events here. The firearm is designed to deliver energy onto a target to stop it from doing whatever it's doing. Whether or not a death occurs to a living being, man or beast alike, is entirely dependent on the circumstances involved. Maybe, maybe not. So, in the case of a hunter wants to, say, stop the deer from running away because there's mouths to feed back home, new technologies can be invented by the manufacturers of the bullets, technologies, improvements to the manufacturers of the firearms, in order to more quickly stop the target from running away or whatever. Are they designed to kill? You can't make that argument, because they're simply trying to impart energy into the target to stop that target. So let's say, for instance, person A is going to use a firearm to shoot person B. Now, for the purposes of this argument, let's not talk about good guy, bad guy, or anything like that. Let's just say that it's, for the sake of arguments, the action is presumed to be justified. I don't want to focus on the reason why person A is shooting person B. All I'm saying right now is for some reason, person A wants to stop person B from doing whatever it is they're doing, and they want to stop them quickly and efficiently. Being shot by a firearm can stop a person from doing what they are doing, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. The smallest bullet on the market today is what I would call a 22 caliber bullet. People have been shot by a 22 caliber bullet and survived. People have also been shot by a 22 caliber bullet and died. Likewise, in my humble assessment, the most commonly used and most powerful and commonly used caliber of bullet used on the market for self-defense, for instance, in my humble assessment, is the .357 Magnum. Powerful and common use, both of these things. People have been shot with a .357 Magnum and survived. People have been shot with a .357 Magnum and met their end through this. So there's no guarantee that the person being shot by that person B being shot by a bullet is going to perish. How long is it going to take them to stop doing what they are doing? I don't know. Your mileage may vary. There have been people in this world on numerous, who knows how many, numerous instances where a person being shot, fatally wounded with a gunshot to their person, has not stopped immediately and has gone on to kill the person who shot them. And then maybe they die later. So again, the firearm is designed to deliver energy into the target in order to stop the target from doing whatever it's doing. How long does that take? There's no guarantee. In this case, a person, man, beast, anything, being shot by a firearm of any size, caliber bullet, there is no guarantee that they are going to die. There's no guarantee that they will survive either. There's no guarantee. So you cannot make the argument that firearms are designed to kill, because you really don't have any tangible evidence to support that with the kind of scientific precision that you would have to have in order to make that argument. Now, if, for instance, you could cite a statistic that stated that every single person who has ever been shot by a gun has died, well, then you could probably make the argument that, well, guns are designed to kill people. But you can't, because they're designed to do a job. And there's no guarantee that they're going to work very well or they're not going to work very well. So are they designed to kill? It's very, very difficult to make that specific of an argument regarding firearms. If person A shoots person B and the person B were to perish, it's not a predictable thing. They may or they may not. And then, of course, if you want to get into the legal system, person A then may be called upon before a court of law to explain their actions, and then the court will decide one way or another whether they were justified in doing that. But that's outside the point that we're trying to make. The right for you to keep and bear arms is constantly being challenged, and by this silly tactic of trying to separate certain guns from other guns is merely an attempt to infringe upon the right to keep and bear all arms, regardless of the size, the shape, or anything. Either you have the right to keep and bear arms or you don't. And that's kind of a rhetorical statement, because in my humble assessment, whether or not there's a piece of paper anywhere by a government recognizing the right to keep and bear arms, I believe everybody on this planet has the right to keep and bear arms, regardless of whether or not there is something such as the Second Amendment stating that you have a right to keep and bear arms. I think that right exists regardless of whether or not a government recognizes that right or not. So, it's very important that whenever you hear somebody talk about some kind of reason why they want to ban a certain kind of a gun, or, and not other kinds of a gun, you have to recognize that is all smoke and mirror to disguise the fact that person is actually, whether even they realize it or not, they are trying to make an argument as to why all guns should be banned. And of course, when I say guns being banned, it's only for the private individuals of any particular country of which I speak, because no government anywhere is going to ban their own use of firearms. All governments will always have guns, whether they have the right to have guns or not. So, anyways, so that's important to keep in mind, this argument. Guns are not designed to kill people. They're not designed to kill. They're designed to stop the target from doing whatever that target is doing by delivering energy, by striking the target with energy in order to stop, the target from doing whatever they're doing. This can be a challenge when the target is a living, breathing man or beast who has the ability to have thoughts and act in such a way that they can they determine their own will to continue doing what they're doing or to flee in self-defense or whatever. Then the amount of energy delivered to the target then can overwhelm the free will motivation of the man or beast who is intent on doing a particular thing. So that's the argument. It's that's the subject. Make sure that when you listen to these, and there's many of them. This is just one example for today that we're talking about. Whenever they talk about banning a particular kind of firearm over another, just recognize that it's all smoke and mirrors, and the argument is actually about depriving you of the ability to keep and bear arms completely. So, thank you for being with me here today. Always visit wheelgundan.com for all my latest activities and offerings. Tell your friends. If you are in a position to enter comments, to like, subscribe, or all that, by all means do so. If you are listening to me in a forum where you're not able to enter comments and all that kind of stuff, well then visit wheelgundan.com so you can find links to a place where you can enter comments and participate in the discussion, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or any one of a number of other places where you may be hearing me today. So thank you for being here with me today. Enjoy your day.